Hi there. I am glad that you're back for our next session, Fueling Your Body. We have gone through goal setting, we've gone through why diets don't work, and no matter what your goal is, this session is important. So fueling your body is so important because we want you to feel as energetic and the most satisfied that you can in your own body. So this is important for whatever goal you're trying to achieve. I wanted to let you know this is my family. This is about a year ago. We're at a niece's wedding. My name is Lori Zacharias, and I am the founder of U2FP. That's U to Full Potential. And I just love educating myself about food and the body. I just want to let you know that I love junk food. I love fast food. I'm known as the fast food queen, or maybe not so much anymore, but I used to be. I love hot fudge sundaes. So all these things are so important to me. So as we go through this, I want you to know that I've battled exactly what you're probably battling. I still battle it, not necessarily as much because I'm constantly trying to find fun ways to make healthier choices better. So keep doing that. But I wanted to share my family with you. As I said, this was about a year ago. We were at a niece's wedding down in Columbus, Ohio. That is Andrew, who's 24. Kai is on the left. He was 17 at the time, and Taylor was 14. Love our kids, and that's my husband, Bill, in the very back. And I can't ask for a better husband than him. But why what we eat matters. What does it matter? I mean, and I had the same attitude one time, like, what's the big deal? Oh my gosh. But we are what we eat. The bottom line is that food we eat becomes our cells, our blood, our organs, and our bones. I mean, it is. I mean, what we put in is what creates us, right? So why would we fuel our body with junk? Well, we know why. It tastes so good, and we're just bombarded with advertisement, and they make it look so delicious. So that's why, right? But what we eat does matter. So remember, we're going to do this in little bits. You don't have to just change everything overnight, but I'm hoping my goal is by the end of this, you can think of one little thing that you could change, or maybe something's going to sound fun that you could change after this to make it better. One little step at a time. So this whole low-fat craze, and we're going to talk about that some more, but we've been told that to eat low-fat, nutrient-deficient foods, and then we wonder why we can't lose weight. And we're going to learn about this more as we go of why we can't. But what if we changed our focus on getting healthier rather than losing weight? I think this is a great idea. The minute I say I want to lose weight is the minute that's all I do is focus on food, and I focus on the wrong foods, and it does not work. So when I switch my mind to focusing on nourishment, like how am my body going to feel better? How am I going to thrive the best? It tends to shift the way I think about eating. What we eat absolutely matters, and the biggest difference would be if you could lose the weight as part of a lifestyle shift. And that's when we do coaching, just so you know, we really try to shift the way you think about things. We like to say shift happens here. So we just want to help you so you can maintain it indefinitely, because the end result will be better because you will have improved your health in the process. And that's what's exciting. When we can really think about our results bringing pleasure, if we can think about our new habits bringing pleasure and our old habits bringing pain, this is the power of habit change. Fueling your body for the best results. The food you eat can have a dramatic impact on how you look and feel. You probably already know this, so we're going to get into some more important things in a minute. Don't let me bore you. You can always pause the video at any time when you want to write something down, and you can always fast forward, right? But food is fuel for your body. It's what gives us energy. Our main focus isn't counting calories. In fact, I am not big on counting calories. I'd rather count chemicals. That's what's more important. When we can think of this, and we can think of it as a lifestyle shift, the result is achieving and maintaining an ideal weight range and having a healthier relationship with food. That's the most important thing here, right? While calories do count for something, good health depends on far more complex factors. And simply reducing calories isn't the answer. The food you eat exert a powerful psychological influence, stronger than any act of willpower. They influence your hormones, silently directing your metabolism. And we all want a better metabolism, right? We all want better willpower. So we just want to do this in a different way than you've never done before. They affect your digestive tract, your body's first line of defense, and they impact your immune system and your risk for any number of diseases and conditions. Your health, your good health, starts with the foods you eat. In addition, let's cover some basics, all right? Now, this might be boring to you, but it's going to be very helpful information, I promise. There are macronutrients and there's micronutrients, and there's 3 of each in both categories. You're used to macronutrients. Those are your protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Now, some of you went, oh, carbohydrates is a macronutrient, because we have become accustomed to, oh, I can't eat carbs, or, oh, I just got to get rid of carbs. No, 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 no. Carbs are a great thing. We want carbs. We just have to eat the right carbs. Our society has just thought of carbs as all your white sugars. So our nachos at the game, or our breads along the bakery, all these different things, our pastas. And those aren't necessarily so great for us. They don't really fuel us in a really great way. They might fuel us for a little bit, but then we end up crashing. So we want, going back to macronutrients, we want protein, fat, and carbohydrates. And when we choose the highest quality of those, we're going to get the highest levels of micronutrients, which is water, vitamins, and minerals. And those are critical for our health and well-being. So micronutrients are lacking in diets that include a lot of processed foods. And that's why the quality of our food is so important. And when we can learn to do this, we don't even have to count calories. You probably won't even have to think about what you're eating next, because once you get so good at knowing what quality foods are, it doesn't really matter. They're going to work so well to rev your engine and keep you satiated that things are just going to work out. Macronutrients are nutrients that contain calories, and calories are good for us. We do want calories. There are only 3 macronutrients, which are the fat, carbohydrates, and proteins that we just mentioned. Let's talk about protein, all right? Protein is essential to building and maintaining our body tissues. They help repair our body tissues, and they help things such as our skin, organs, and muscles. I mean, doesn't that sound good? Now, in this country, we don't really have to talk about protein a whole lot, because most of us really do make sure we have protein. It's typically the carbs that we really have to focus on. But just a little bit more about protein is they have substances called amino acids, and 22 of these are considered vital for our health. Vital, that's a very big word. And your body can make 14 amino acids, but the other 8 have to come from what we're eating. So where do we get proteins? Now, we're not going to talk about quality proteins here, because that's not as big of a concern. But we can get proteins from meat, chicken, fish, eggs, nuts and seeds we don't always think about, and legumes we don't always think about. Also, we can get proteins from grains and some vegetables. You know, I've heard that some peas have as much protein as some beef. So that's really great to know about. What I love about protein, and I notice the biggest time I will lack on protein is at breakfast. And I notice when I don't do this, I can't go quite as long to lunch with the energy that I want, or my stomach will start to growl an hour before it's lunchtime. So I've noticed when I add in the right amount of protein, I can go longer, or I can feel satiated. Satiated is one of those great words that you'll love, knowing that you feel satiated. And also it stabilizes your blood sugar. Your energy is not going to go up and down like this. So it's really important. We all need different levels of protein. So check with someone around you that would help you know how much protein you need to get if you're not sure. Now, carbs. Carbs are a really great thing, and I hope this might be really powerful for you, because I want you by the end of this to really be excited that you do get to eat carbs. It's just the right carbs. It's the right type of bread. It's the right type of pasta. It's the right vegetables and the right fruits for you. Tomatoes are one of the best things. They have so much nutrition, and yet they're not great for every single person out there. Same thing with spinach. Same thing with bread. We all relate differently to different foods. But carbohydrates are important for our bodies for many reasons, and they're what give us energy. So you need carbohydrates. You need them. I'm doing this because anytime I think of protein and carbs, I know I need this much protein for this much carbs. It's just how I work. I use basically my fist. I need of each. So if I'm starting to feel a little down in the middle of the day, like I didn't eat quite as good of a breakfast or lunch, and I'm going to need that snack before mealtime, I'm going to make sure I get a carb and a protein. It might be an apple and some nuts. It might be some cheese and some whole grain crackers. So we want to make sure we have each of those. But carbs can be a good source of fiber, which is very important. And if you walked away today saying there's only one thing I can focus on, I would say focus on fiber. Eat those carbs that give you fiber. Now, carbs come from a lot of places. That's why they get complicated. And we're used to carbs being those refined carbs. But carbs are categorized as refined or unrefined, processed or unprocessed, simple or complex. And you probably know that we want to eat the unrefined carbohydrates because they're full of nutrients, fiber, minerals, and vitamins. And that's what our human body needs for normal production. It's just part of our operation. So an example of these would be vegetables, fruits, beans, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. So you don't have to give up bread. You just want to eat whole grain bread. You want to eat the right bread with the right grains for you. And that's different for everybody. And what happens is not only are you going to feel a little more energetic, you're also going to have improved digestion and elimination. And that can help everybody's day. Refined carbs, on the other hand, such as our nachos at the ball game, or maybe our bread on that hot dog at the stand, whatever entertainment thing you're going to, it's going to be refined carbs almost all of the time, right? Or if we go into the convenience store, that's where we can grab our refined carbs. But this is where the nutrients have been stripped away, additives and chemicals have been put in there in place so they taste better, and they give us like they have an addictive taste in there, and they're harmful to our health. And we also learn to go on that roller coaster ride. Refined carbs are going to be things such as cereals, white bread, white rice, white flour, chips, most pastas, cakes, and candy. Pretty much what we see almost all the time, right? It's really hard to hide from these. But these are the best things to eliminate from your diet. And don't do it and be pouty face. If you still need them, just take them. Being happy has a lot to do with a good life too. But the more you have awareness and the more you can educate yourself on this, the more you're going to enjoy eating these better foods. So do it in a way that's going to be right for you, not pouty. And if you're going to have a pity party, then just go back to the nachos, because I do that sometimes. But one thing we're not going to focus on is feeling guilty. And that's what I want to get at. We want to do this because it's the right thing, because you enjoy it, because you're just going to feel better. There's so many benefits. It would take me an hour just to list all the benefits. But your body will start to crave healthy foods if you continue to educate yourself and get excited and hang around those people that do like to be healthier. Fats. So remember, we're talking about macronutrients. We talked about proteins. We talked about carbs. Now let's talk about fats, because this is a real confusion in our nation. And it really started back, I want to say, in the 50s and maybe the 70s when they went on this fat-free craze. And it got so confusing. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I love fats. Eating fats is like the best thing ever. But we want to make sure we're eating the right fats. And we are really supposed to consume the right amount. I tend to go overboard. But hey, this is why. There's so many benefits. It strengthens the immune system. It enhances the brain and nervous system. It greatly reduces cardiovascular disease. It increases energy and performance. It gives you healthy skin, hair, and nails. I'm working on that part. But all these other benefits I have definitely noticed. And it regulates your body weight. And it improves organ and gland function. Who wouldn't want all that? So why would you not eat fats? I think it's a really good idea. And so there's some really great healthy fats, and we'll talk about that. And most importantly, it helps you absorb vitamins such as A, D, E, and K. Maybe you've never heard of K. Look it up. It's a really important vitamin. And it's optimal for hormone function. And who doesn't want that? So these are really, really important. These are great benefits. And why would you not want those? But you're probably thinking, I thought fat was bad for me. Well, we've just gotten some misinformation. The train of thought mostly comes from the low-fat diet craze that caused most Americans to run scared from all dietary sources of fat. The fat was replaced with sugar and other chemicals to make foods taste good. Do you remember this? You might even still be living it. So remember, it's all about educating. The time period of low-fat craze is when the rate of obesity in this country really started to skyrocket. And go ahead and look this up yourself. But in some cases, we now refer to the Great American Experiment in Obesity. So consuming dietary fats does not mean that you will get fat. In fact, fats and oils are essential in optimal health. And you'll notice a difference. I've noticed a difference. I can't believe the difference in my health, how much less I've gotten sick, how much more energy I have. I want to let you know I feel better in my late 40s than I did in my early 30s. No joke. If you haven't heard my health story, you'll have to go back and listen to another video, but it's changed my life. And I still enjoy some of those bad carbs every now and then, probably more than I should. But more often than not, I enjoy eating healthy. And it's made a huge difference. So just as with all foods, however, you must consume high quality fats and oils for your body to effectively use them. Remember, you are what you eat. So where do fats come from? Healthy fats. We want to focus on healthy fats. That would be things from meat, eggs, nuts, seeds, oily fish, and salmon's one of the best. Other good fat sources include olive oil, coconut oil, or avocado oil. There's many oils out there that are very, very good for you. There's also many oils out there that you might want to avoid. So do your research and get educated. Organically grown, plant-based source with minimal processing is in the raw state is your best healthy fat sources. In addition to olive oil, there's also hemp seed oil, flaxseed oil, and pumpkin seed oil. And if you're in the area that I'm in, which is in Northeast Indiana, there is a great company called the Olive Twist that has some great oils. I love them. It makes it so fun for cooking. Heck, I hardly even get the butter out of the fridge anymore. I mean, I might use it from here, occasionally, but I've gotten so excited about using all these different oils and the way they taste as they either heat up in the pan or you match them with foods. It can be really fun. Unhealthy fats abound in fast food, processed foods, chips, that's my hard one, crackers, cookies, and many snack foods. Most processed foods contain hydrogenated oils, which are highly processed oils, and we want to avoid those. Don't let that trip up your system. Use the good oils. They taste good. They taste good. If they don't taste good to you, you don't have the right oil. There's so many out there that you can try it. So adding healthy fat will keep you full longer and you're going to feel better. One thing you could do, if you want to just start small, is just begin your day right. Maybe don't even change anything else about your day other than your breakfast. But what if you just added the right protein and the right carbs to your breakfast? Wow, you might discover that you feel full longer, and you might not have that morning crash. You might not even have the afternoon crash, depending on you. But you could set your day up for complete success. So see what works. Try a different breakfast. And if you're not sure how to get started with this, email me and we'll send you a little guide that will help you do a 4-day experiment. We'll help you know which foods are right for you, what works for you best. There's so many different ways that you can go about finding out what works for you. But which new food will you try this week? And I want you to take time now to just think one thing you can do. If it's not starting with breakfast, maybe it's using a food journal to track what you're eating and how you will feel. I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of people that have tried to lose weight. How many of those do you think gained their weight back after they lost weight? Write that number down. If you said anything below 98, you were wrong. 98% of the people who lose weight gain it back. The only thing that those 2% did differently than most of the others was they used a food journal. They tracked what they ate, and that was their key to keeping that weight off. So that could be a second thing you might decide to do. You're just only going to pick one. We're going to start small, people. Start small so you can be sustainable. We want this to be a long-time journey. One little thing at a time. When you try to do it all, you're only going to make it a couple days or a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. But when you can do one little step at a time and you can work on habit change, that's when you can have a lifelong fulfilled life. So a third thing that you could maybe pick from is notice which breakfast options keep you full longer and give you more energy. Or consider how you feel after you eat so you can tune into which makes you feel better or worse. Or maybe just change one food item that isn't serving you well and substitute it for something that would enhance your nutrition intake or energy level. So maybe pause this video, or at the end, just take time to write down what one thing you will do after this. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you fuel your body in a much more impactful way.